모미씨 여러분, 헬로 봉주로 디아 환영, 헬로 엔지너 베르롱, 뭐야. 오늘은 제가 Warriors, Omen of the Stars, Fading Echoes를 읽을 거예요. Warriors는 제가 좋아하는 영어 책 시리즈거든요. 근데 그 중에서 저는 Omen of the Stars, 그러니까 네 번째 시리즈, The Prophecies Begin, The New Prophecy, Power of Three, Omen of the Stars, Dawn of the Clans, A Vision of Shadows 이런 것 중에서 네 번째 시리즈에 위치한 2권이에요. 자, 여러분 읽겠습니다. 자, 갑니다. 프롤로그부터 읽을게요. Trees whispered branch to branch above the lifeless forest floor. Mist wreathed their smooth trunks, pale as bone, and swirled through the night-dark forest. Above their branches the sky yawned, starless and cold. There was no moon to cast shadows, but an eerie light glowed through the trees. Paws thudded on the dead earth. Two warriors reared on their hind legs and launched themselves at each other, their bodies heavying and twisting like ghosts in the gloom. One brown, one black. Winds rattled the trees as the brown Tom, his broad shoulders heavying, aimed a vicious swipe at his lean opponent. The black Tom dodged, not taking his gaze from his rival's paws for a moment. His eyes narrowed in concentration. The brown warrior's strike missed and he landed heavily, too slow in turning to run a sharp nip from the black Tom. Hissing, he reared again, twisting on one hind paw, and lunged, his forepaws falling like rocks on the black Tom's shoulders. The Tom collapsed under the weight of the blow. Breath huffed from his mouth as his chest slammed against the ground. The brown warrior raked thorn-sharp claws along his opponent's pelt, and his nose twitched as blood welled on the wound, scarlet and salty. Quick as a snake, the black Tom slithered out from his rival's grip and began to swipe rhythmically with his forepaws, swaying one way then the other until the brown warrior flinched back. In that flinch, a single moment of distraction, the black Tom sprang forward and sank his teeth deep into the warrior's foreleg. The warrior yelled and shook the Tom off, his eyes flaming with rage. A heartbeat passed as the cats stared at each other, both glazes glittering with calculation. Then the black Tom ducked and twisted, raking his way under the brown warrior's snow-white belly. But the warrior pounced on him before he could scramble clear, hugging his pelt with long curved claws and pinning him to the ground. Too slow, the brown warrior growled. The black Tom struggled, panic flashing in his eyes as his rival's jaws began to close around his throat. Enough. A dark tabby stepped from the shadows, his massive paws stirring the mist. The cats froze, then untangled themselves. The brown warrior sat back on his haunches, one foreleg raised as though it hurt. The black Tom scrambled to his paws, spraying droplets of blood across the forest floor as he shook out his fur. Some good moves, Hawk Frost. The dark tabby nodded to the broad-shouldered warrior. 여기에서 허크 프로스트가 여기 메인 빌런인 타이거 스타 아들이에요. And then his gaze flicked to the black Tom. 엄마 안녕. 나 이거 워리어즈 방송 중. You're getting better, Breeze Pelt, but you'll need to get even quicker if you're going out fight stronger warriors. If you can't match an opponent in weight, look to speed instead and use his weight against him. I'll work on it, Tiger Star. A fourth Tom slid from the shadows. His silver stripes gleamed in the half-light as he wound around Tiger Star. Hawkfrost can match any warrior, he purred, smooth as honey. There aren't many cats with such skill and strength. Tiger Star curled his lip. Quiet, Darkstripe, he hissed. Hawkfrost knows his own strengths. Darkstripe blinked. I wasn't. Oh. Tiger Star cut him off, and there's always room for improvement.
근데 누나 왜 워리어즈를 읽고 있어?
워리어즈 방송이거든. A fifth cat slid from behind the tree, his dark brown pelt ragged against the smooth gray bark. Hawkfrost depends too much on his strength, he muttered. Breezepelt too much on his speed. Together they would make a great warrior. Separately they are vulnerable. Broken Star. Hawkfrost greeted the matted tabby with bare teeth. Are we supposed to take advice from the warrior who failed to silence Jayfeather? Broken Star twitched the tip of his tail. I did not expect StarClan to fight so hard to save him. Never underestimate your enemy. Hawkfrost stretched his forepaw, wincing. Breezepelt licked the deep scratches along his flank, his tongue reddening with his own blood. We must be ready, Tiger Star growled. It is not enough to be able to beat one enemy at a time. We must train until we can take on a whole patrol single pod. Breezepelt looked up from his wounds, his eyes flashing. I can already beat Hairspring and Leaftail in training. Tiger Star's eyes darkened. Training is one thing. Warriors fight harder when they're defending their lives. Breezepelt clawed the ground. I can fight harder.
I can fight harder.
Tiger Star nodded. You have more reason than most. A growl rolls in Breezepelt's throat. You have been wronged, Tiger Star meowed softly. Breezepelt's young face looked kid-like in the gloom. You are the only ones who seem to realize that. I have told you that you must seek vengeance, Tiger Star reminded him. With our help, you can take revenge on every cat who has betrayed you. Breezepelt's gaze grew hungry as the Dark Warrior went on, and on every cat who stood by and did nothing while others claimed that was yours as their own. Starting with Crowfeather, Breezepelt snarled his father's name. Broken Star swished his crooked tail through the air. What did your father do to defend you? His words were laced with bitterness as though soured by his own memory.
Tiger Star!
Darkstripe slipped forward. He never valued you. Tiger Star shoots the striped warrior back with a flick of his tail. He tried to crush you, make you weak. He didn't succeed, Breezepelt spat. But he tried. Perhaps he valued his ThunderClan kids more. Those 3 kids should have never been born. Tiger Star padded toward the young warrior, his eyes gleaming. Holding Breezepelt's gaze like a snake mesmerizing its prey. You have been suckled on lies and the weakness of others. You have suffered while others have thrived. But you are strong. You will put things right. Your father betrayed his clan and betrayed you. Leafpool betrayed StarClan by taking a mate. Breezepelt's tail was lashing. I will make them all pay for what they have done. No heart fired his gaze, only cold hatred. I will have vengeance on each and every one of them. Broken Star pushed forward. You're not a noble warrior, Breezepelt. You cannot live a life spawned on lies. Loyalty to the warrior code runs too strong in your blood. Not like those weaklings, Breezepelt agreed. Hogfrost was on his paws. More practice, he suggested. Tigerstar shook his head. There is something else you must do. He swung his broad head around to face the warrior. Hawkfrost narrowed his eyes to icy slits. What? There's another apprentice, Tigerstar told him. She has great power. She must join us to make the battle even. You want me to visit her? Menace edged Hawkfrost's meat. Tigerstar nodded. Walk in her dreams. Teach her that our battle is her destiny. He flicked the tip of his long dark tail. Go. As the broad-shouldered warrior turned away and padded into the mist, Tigerstar growled after him. You should have no trouble. She's ready. 여러분 이제요. 프롤로그는 다 읽었잖아요.
나 뭐만 들어야 돼.
여러분 이제 얼라이언스를 할게요.
나 이제 뭐 만들어야 돼. 그만해. 나 뭐 만들어야 돼. 근데 그러려면 이미지가 필요하지. 근데 지금 있는 건 태풍이야.
얼라이언스를 알려드릴게요. 썬더 클란에는 Firestar, Ginger Tom with a flame-colored pelt. 누나 방송 중.
누나 그래도 좀.
여기서 Deputy는 Brambleclaw, Dark Brown Tabby Tom with amber eyes.
컨티뉴하는 건 어때? 나 필요해.
Medicine Cat은 Jay Feather, Grey Tabby Tom with blind blue eyes. 에요. 자, 아무튼 1화는 끝났습니다.